I'm very unsure of myself most of the time, not certain if I'm saying the right things, if I am acting the right way, if I'm even supposed to be here.
I am back for another video. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about self-validation. Now, I had previously recorded this video and then it got deleted. This is why this video took forever to get out, so I have to re-record it, which is okay. Sometimes I feel like that's a spiritual sign that maybe there was more to the message, and here I am to give that. So I wanted to talk about self-validation and why it's so crucial for your healing journey. The main reason self-validation is so important and it's so crucial for your healing journey is because 9 times out of 10 you have to heal from things that you didn't get validation on. Trauma that people, family members may have done to you that they did not acknowledge or apologize for. But it doesn't mean that you didn't experience it. It doesn't mean that the trauma doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that what happened to you didn't happen. It just means that you are now in a space within yourself where you have to give yourself that validation. And the reason you have to give yourself that validation is so that you can heal from what you experience. And sometimes that involves not getting the apology, not even getting the acknowledgement, not even getting the care from the person that may have hurt you, where you feel like they should care that they have hurt you. You may not even get the care that they actually hurt you. In order for you to heal, that involves you self-validating yourself and validating your experiences. I found it interesting that I've been sharing some of the things that I've been going through, things that I have gone through within the last 3 years. And these things are past things. These are not current things. And I spoke about these things simply to speak my truth regarding the things that I had gone through, which was trauma that I had actually experienced. And I found it interesting that people in the comments felt like I'm looking for their validation about what I experienced, what I went through, as if I'm looking to be seen as a victim. I just shared my truth to help others. That's it. If I needed the validation, then maybe I would have told that story when it was happening, when the situation was unfolding. But instead, I decided to work that out with my therapist at the time. I'm just now sharing my experience with you all. You can learn from it. You can grow from my experience. You can also learn from my experience as well. So I decided to share that with you. But I wasn't looking for the validation. When I decided to go to therapy, that involved me sitting in a room across from a stranger where I had to validate my own experiences, and my therapist was able to help me with that. So me coming to the internet seeking that from you, it just was never my intentions. My intent was to help those that may have gone through a similar situation, to help them in their current situation. Not everyone can afford therapy, and I understand that. The reason why I wanted to talk about self-validation was because of the comments. That was never my intent, was to come on here and be validated by complete strangers that were not a witness to what happened. It was just more so me releasing. Speaking your truth can help you release, but also it was to help those that may have been in a similar situation. It just seems like there were a lot of friendship breakups, a lot of separations that were going on, and I just felt like if I shared my story, it could help those that needed it. But self-validation is so important. It is the foundation for your healing journey because, like I said, you're gonna have to heal from things that people don't want to apologize for, people don't want to acknowledge, people want to dismiss, or people want to gaslight you and say you're making it a big deal or you're taking this too serious, and maybe even belittle the treatment that they had towards you. They want to dismiss that and gaslight you. So it's important that you self-validate yourself from this day forward. You're not always going to get that reassurance from those who hurt you or may have caused pain or trauma in your life. And that's the hardest part about your healing journey. I had to heal from things that my parents did not apologize for. I had to heal from things that friends did not apologize for, lovers purpose did not apologize for. I never got the apology, and I'm at a point in my life where I don't need it because I am self-validating myself, and I've been able to do that by healing, and that's enough for me. So I just wanted to make that clear that when it comes to self-validation, it is the foundation for your healing journey. And also, as you go through this journey of self-healing and self-validating, it will also help with your self-confidence, which will then help with your self-esteem, which will then help with your self-awareness. It's just gonna help with everything that makes you who you are. It's important that you start to self-validate yourself. You have to understand, for me to even be the woman that I am today, I didn't get the I'm sorries. I didn't get that I apologize. I didn't get those things. I had to acknowledge those things and those experiences, and I had to heal and grow and release and move on from those experiences. And I don't have any hate or bitterness towards those that have done things towards me. I just want to move on, and I'm wiser, and that's enough for me. So I know some people are waiting to start their healing journey because they need the apologies, and the apologies may never come. And you can't stay stuck in one spot and be stagnant your entire life just because you didn't get the I'm sorry, I apologize. It may never come. This is why some people may grow bitter in a certain space in their life and never grow and move on from that, because they did not self-validate themselves, their experience, their trauma, their pain, what they went through, and then heal and then release and move on. They stayed where they were hurt, and that was it, because they never got the I'm sorry, they never got the apology. And unfortunately, when it comes to people who hurt you, they don't want to acknowledge the hurt that they may have caused on another person, because that would involve them to look at themselves. And the number one thing that will keep people from apologizing to you is self-reflection, looking in the mirror and acknowledging that they did this thing wrong. They treated you unfairly. They caused pain and hurt. That's the number one thing that keeps them from doing that. They don't want to look in the mirror. They don't want to self-reflect. So you have to self-validate yourself. It is so important. And if you don't, another thing that I experienced through my healing journey was the things that my parents did to me during a very hard time in my life, which I've talked about. They tried to rewrite my story, and I do not like that. That is one thing I don't like. I don't like when people try to rewrite your story, because if they try to rewrite your story, the trajectory of your life would be a different story. It wouldn't even be the same. You wouldn't even be the same person. So I don't like that. And I've had conversations with my parents about them trying to rewrite my story by changing what they may have done. And I've had to let them know, like, hey, don't do that, because when you do that, you're dismissing my life story and what I went through. And that's not fair to me. If you love me, you respect me, you won't do that. So be careful of your parents, friends, lovers, exes, whatever, where they try to rewrite your story. Your story is your story, and it's your story to tell. And if people have an issue with it, they're just going to have an issue with it, and you should not care. The song that I want you to go listen to when it comes to this is I Love It featuring Charli XCX. I'll make sure to link this song down below, but basically she's saying, I love it, I love it, I don't care. That's what you need to be on when it comes to your self-validation journey, because your self-validation journey is the foundation for your healing journey. You can't start your healing journey getting apologies from people. It's never gonna happen. It may, but it may be years from now. It may come and it may never come. So you need to start getting in the habit of self-validating yourself. Outside opinions, they don't matter. Outside opinions is a form of weakness. If you have to rely on outside opinions, you are not confident, you don't have self-assurance, so that means people can easily play with you and manipulate you. You struggle with self-confidence, you struggle with decision-making, you struggle with being seen a certain way, so most likely you suffer from a low self-esteem. If you're wanting to change these things within yourself, it starts with self-validating yourself and basically going along with what you feel is right based off of what you experience and what you have been experiencing. If you need help with properly being able to self-validate yourself, because sometimes self-validation self-validation can be toxic, where people are delusional about how they come across to others. So you want to be balanced when it comes to this self-validation. You don't want to be arrogant. I also advise that you ground yourself. You do some type of grounding work so that you're not arrogant, where you are out here and you feel like no one can tell you anything. That's not what I'm talking about. Everything that I say on this channel, please take with common sense, balance, and just being a sensible human being. So let me explain what that looks like. Yes, self-validating yourself is the highest form of self-confidence, but you don't want to be arrogant where you feel like others can't hold you accountable or others can't give you constructive criticism regarding maybe something you've done. You don't want to be the type of person where you have nothing but yes men around you and then you're always self-validating yourself in that same way. You want to be sensible, balanced, and fair, and that requires you to ground yourself. That requires you to do some self-reflection exercises where you sit, you meditate. If there's an issue that may occur, maybe sit in that energy and really think about what happened before you react. So there's levels to it. Jumping from 0 to 100 every single time there's an issue or a situation, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about past experiences. If you know you went through something, you know you experienced something, that's enough. Waiting on a I'm sorry, I apologize, you're gonna be waiting a lifetime. So focus on self-validating yourself, but also have balance where you're able to self-reflect and take constructive criticism and be held accountable when you need to be, but also be in this space where you're not relying on self-validation, you're not relying on outside opinions, because as soon as you do, you are weak. And you don't want to be weak, because when you're weak, like I said, you're easy to play with, you're easy to manipulate. So you don't want to always rely on outside opinions. It's nice to get them every now and then. I think it's important for you to have your community of people that you can go to, that love you, that care about you, that see value in you, and get outside opinions. But you can't just allow that to be everyone. And sometimes you can't go to certain friends because they don't have the wisdom to help you. You can only go to certain people, and you have to be careful about that. Sometimes friends don't have the best judgment. Sometimes mothers and fathers don't have the best judgment. So make sure you carve out a select group of people, maybe a therapist, maybe a friend that is very wise. Make sure you carve out those people that you can go to that can give you that outside opinion, and you know they want your best interest at heart, and you know because they see value in you and they speak that over you. That's all that I have regarding this video. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please also comment down below some other topics that you want me to talk about. But I want to get more into leveling up your life, self-validation, starting your healing journey. It's a great start, and I hope this video helps you, and I also hope to see you in my next one.